It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, let's get after it today. Welcome back in, Rothman and Ice. Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes. And we got a pair of CBs just tag teaming this up behind the glass. How you feeling, my man?
Man, I feel awesome. I feel awesome. The weekend was really good. Enjoyed that Stadium Series action with our Jackets coming out victorious again, which was awesome. And then, I was looking forward to the Elimination Chamber in Toronto, and my goodness, did that deliver, and then some with John Cena finally turning heel. Are you serious? So the weekend was great, man. I have nothing to complain about. How you living? You good over there?
Outstanding. It was great being down there on Saturday. So we'll look at it from two different perspectives, because you caught it on TV and I caught it down there. So from a TV standpoint, which I have not gone back to rewatch it, especially after when I was at the game and I went up to the press box and I heard the open, because, Tennessee's playing, that's going down to the wire. Everyone's praying that this game doesn't go to overtime. The ESPN broadcast gets pushed back. And then finally, if that thing goes to overtime, I don't know what happens. I'm not privy to that stuff, whether they moved it over to one of the other ESPN channels and then knocked it back to ESPN once the basketball game was over. So when Tennessee hit the buzzer beater, the whole press box, or part of the one I was in, was cheering. It was like the greatest shot in NHL history was the basketball shot that just happened, so they could start the damn game. And then, Sean McDonough comes on and calls us right out of the gate the Columbus Jackets. Forgets the blue part.
Thanks, John.
Which
Thanks,
is,
Sean.
I mean, I was just waiting for him to say that one of those teams didn't belong to be here on Saturday night.
You've had some real smoke for Sean McDonough since the Indiana stuff happened.
And I will tell you that I've had a lot of love and respect for him his whole career. I thought that was a very, very odd moment for him. I know he's kind of talked about it and maybe backed up the truck a little bit on it. It was weird.
Yeah.
Play-by-play guys now in this era are leaning more into opinion a little bit. It's not their job. It's not their forte. It's not really what they're designed to do. But I've noticed it, and I don't know if you've noticed it, that even Nance and some guys will launch into their opinion and not just let the color analyst fill in the blanks on everything. And it wasn't that he wasn't allowed to debate whether Indiana belonged when they got shellacked by Notre Dame. That's okay to bring that to the table a little bit. It was when he felt at the end of the broadcast to throw in, and by the way, worst record in history against AP top 5. You know who that is.
Well, let me ask you this.
That's all.
Let me ask you this.
It was just a little weird.
If it was anybody else other than Indiana, would you have cared this much?
No, of course not. Of course not. Why would I?
There we go.
But why would I?
So he's coming after your alma mater.
Yeah,
that's why.
If it happened to any team that anyone had it was odd to me. And so I was talking to Scotty Vegas before the show, and I said, I know he's a Syracuse guy, and I'm wondering if he was at the Q's when Bobby Knight in Indiana took him down in the late 80s. I wonder if he still has a burr in his saddle over that. And I looked it up, and he actually left a few years before that. He graduated in 84 when Indiana won it in 87. But I'm wondering if there was something there for me. But anyway, I thought it was kind of funny when you start this whole deal, and he's called them the Columbus Jackets playing the Red Wings. Like, let's get the name right, at least out of the gate.
At least the start, right.
Other than that, it was tremendous. I'm not going to be able to say anything that everybody already hasn't said since Saturday. There was a good crowd. Obviously, no one expects 94,000 to go to a hockey game outside. That was tremendous about it. As far as the lead up to it, it was great. Although I came 315 North and got up at Lane Avenue, no problem, about 1:30. So I don't know whether that was because, and it wasn't like any cops were there. You needed a pass. Yeah. They did have signs that said passes this way or pass parking. But I came up 315 North at 1:30, and now when I got down there, it was crowded, but you could kind of go through Lane Avenue.
Nice little flow to it.
It had a little flow, and the tailgate was starting. The line was outside St. John for the Skull session where the team was going in. And then, obviously, the game. And the most meaningful part of all this was that they put a hockey rink in Ohio Stadium. I went down there on Friday, Matty, and watched practice up on the glass. It was surreal. The rink didn't even look as big to me.
Well, there's a flex to start our week.
What's that?
I went to watch practice up on the glass. Flex on him,
Hey,
AR.
listen.
I love that.
I don't know if that's a flex.
It is a flex.
I had a wristband, and I went.
AR just
I
dropped
didn't say anything to anybody.
I went to practice on Friday and was on the glass, and he's trying to make it seem like that's not a flex.
I was trying to give you guys a little bit of my vantage point of where I was.
I love it when
The
you do that.
second part is
You handed out water bottles to the guys, too? Hey, Z.
I would have.
You need a granola bar?
I'm not above that.
I got
I'm not
you.
above raisins, craisins. I wasn't above that. And so the rink didn't even look regulation to me.
Really?
Sitting in that building.
Yeah.
And it didn't look as wide. There was something about it. It was obviously totally regulation and all that. And so watch practice, and that was an event in itself. They did the family skate, the wives skate, the kids, the girlfriends, the whole deal. And that was after. So they got a chance to be there at practice. And everyone got a chance to kind of live that part of it, which is watching the drone fly over and all the things that was buzzing around that building on Friday when it was 50, 60 degrees. Didn't feel like it. The wind, it was cold, but it wasn't like it was. So drastic difference from Friday afternoon to obviously Saturday afternoon. And then the most important thing, they won the game.
Got a dub.
They won the game.
Yes,
and
sir.
I started, when I'm watching what's going on with this team, and we had on Don Waddell on Friday, and I put it right to him. What are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think lie detector stuff with Don Waddell, if you asked him, do you think you have an Eastern Conference final team on your hands here? Conference final team. I don't know if he'd say, yeah, without a doubt, we have what it takes. I don't know if he'd go all the way. But the way they are working, the way the cohesiveness, the chemistry of this team, the way you watch them on Saturday night blow a lead in the third and snap right back. These aren't the old Jackets. There's skill that's growing up before our eyes. There are plays that are happening underneath the line. There are guys that are parking themselves in front of the net with that big bag of knuckles I talked about on Friday. And I thought the 2 goals that Elvis gave up in the third that tied the game, I thought they both were, I wasn't behind him, but I will tell you they both looked screened. One was a block by Z that just happened to come back out. I thought he got screened on that one, and I think he got semi-screened on the one before that. And so, but the Danforth fast break, the lob to him, yes, did he get away with a high stick? Of course, but calling that live real time, him getting tangled a little bit, and then this individual effort was tremendous.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're talking about this game, the Stadium Series, Maddie, in the same breath and the same light.
Yeah.
If this isn't a playoff contending team right now, for me, it added a level up on this, where it turned it from not just a novelty, but something now that has great meaning to it.
Yeah, 100%. And it's something we talked about, going into the game all week, was that you have these two teams that are in each other's way, contending for a playoff spot. We got a few games to go. They're going on a tough road trip, the Jackets, so they're going to have to grind and make some noise out there on the road. But what we're seeing right now is just, it's so much fun to watch. They come out of the Four Nations break. They're 4-0. The offense is humming. I know you had some empty goals in there every now and then, but we're talking 4 games in a row with, at minimum 5 goals. So teams know right now that when you face the Jackets, you better bring it on defense, because the CBJ are going to apply pressure. And on the other end, you had Elvis, 43 saves in the contest. That was just such good stuff from him.
If you play the box score game, that's a great point you bring up. If you play the box score game, you weren't winning that game.
No.
If I came in and I had not seen the game and you told me the Red Wings outshot the Jackets 46-21,
I would have said it got bad for us.
and you got out hit,
Yeah.
I would say they didn't win that game.
I thought he was so locked in, AR. And I saw the NHL, they tweeted out, Elvis, those 43 saves were tied for the second most in an outdoor game in the history of the league. So that's cool that he has that going on. But this is
the 2 goals real fast.
Yeah.
2 goals. I'm talking about the 3-2 goal and the 3-3 goal.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't know that you'd have to ask him, but I think that Maetzold, I thought, semi-screened Elvis on the 3-2 goal, and Z, who blocked a shot and the puck goes right back out, was probably in his eye line there.
right. So it's not like he was giving up some softies. He wasn't giving up softies in the net there. And this is what we talked about with Ohio State. The football team is catching momentum at the right time and putting pressure on your opponent in every facet of the game. And it seems like the Jackets, that's exactly what they're doing. And there's so many guys that we talked about over the last couple of weeks that have stepped up, whether it's Elvis or JVR or Z or obviously, Marchenko, and these guys that have been consistent players for the CBJ. This is what you need right now. And so to handle Detroit the way that they handled them 2 games in a row is absolutely awesome. And I really hope that the front office does some tweaking here. Maybe you don't go crazy and you don't make a big splash, but a nice addition here or there as an ancillary piece that can be maybe a glue guy to piece this thing together even more is something I hope that they do, because the guys in the locker room at this point deserve it. They deserve the front office to come out and give them their best from top down, and then the guys will go out there on the ice and continue to do what they do. But now we're talking about a team that has real playoff expectations. What those are for everybody, that's going to be different, but I'm hoping that we get to see them in the dance, because the way that they're playing right now, they're going to be a tough out if they do get in the playoff tournament.
And there's a long way to go.
Yep.
And I don't have a lot to do, so I think about this stuff. And I'm thinking about probably getting to that magic 90-point mark with 20 games to go and probably needing 22 points and probably getting more. I said to a friend of mine the other day, I thought maybe 93 really definitely secures it. 90 probably could get them in. Mm-hmm. You got 11 at home. They've almost won 80% of their games at home.
26-4 at home.
This is what I do, Maddie. If you're 26-4 at home. So let's take the 4 overtime losses out. So let's say they've won 20 at home out of 27. If you take the OTLs out, 77%. That's 20 wins out of 27 games. So 77%. You've got 11 home games left. I'm going to even lowball it and get their winning percentage down at home to mid-60s. Mm-hmm. Let's not keep it at upper 70. So let's win 7 of the 11. That'd be 64%. That's 14 points. Now all you got to do is find, in my mind, 6 to 8 more points along the road.
This is the big run right here. This run that's starting with them going to Tampa and then the Panthers and then the Rangers and then New Jersey.
All the teams that are top-notch fighting teams.
This is a big pocket of the schedule right here, and not make or break, but something that can really push them into real contention as far as seeding.
You split this roadie, I'm good with it. You come back for Vegas and the Rangers and the Devils in Florida because you're going to go 4-4. Yeah. 4 on the road, 4 at home. And then you start picking them apart a little bit. See if you can get one in Pittsburgh. Get one on the island. Split with Ottawa. Key series with Washington. Split that. Go win at Philly. You're in the 90s. Mm-hmm. You are. And then you find out whether you're in or not. But believe me, I've done the math, and it is mathin'. We come back, and you'll hear – you talk about the moves real quickly. I do want to get one soundbite in from the NHL Insider on exactly what you were talking about, Maddie. What will they do? You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Giant Eagle is making it easy to surround yourself with savings with new low prices on hundreds of your favorite produce items like pineapples, avocados, navel oranges, and lettuce at your neighborhood Giant Eagle.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
For 100 years, our passion at Atlas Butler has been helping people. From those who have relied on us for years to those who call us for the first time. For our team, their families, and our community, Atlas Butler is here to keep Central Ohio safe and comfortable with trusted, convenient service. Call today, get it fixed today. That's our pledge to you.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Ever wonder where your go-to maintenance person gets the metal products they need to fix yours and everyone else's problems? The best in the business go to metal supermarkets for their wide variety of metal products and shapes to tackle projects from simple to complex. Metal Supermarkets is your source for all metals cut to size and ready fast. No minimum order with maximum service. Visit the family-owned franchise on North Wilson Road or at Columbus at metalsupermarkets.com.
1-800-GOT-JUNK makes space for possibilities.
When our clean, shiny truck arrives, it's the sign of a new beginning, a clean start, a breath of fresh air.
All the animals start giggling, a rainbow appears, and music fills the air.
Your best friend calls with happy news. Every table has fresh flowers on it, and your nights are full of candlelight.
We bring the springtime.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
New treatments for joint pain are here. By now, you've heard about regenerative medicine. If you're wondering if you're a good candidate, answer these questions. First, does chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or other joints keep you from doing the things you enjoy? Golfing, jogging, time with the family. Does it hurt doing the things you need to do, like getting out of bed, sleeping, working, and walking? And finally, do you want to avoid surgery and all of the pain, long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? If you answered yes to any of those, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Learn about exciting advancements in regenerative treatments that can give you long-lasting pain relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Get your free consultation today. Call QC Kinetics. That's QC Kinetics. Here's the phone number.
Call now, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544.
Fish has been named the third best sports program director in the country. Winner. The two dudes who finished ahead of him are dead. So we're declaring him the winner. You're listening to the home of champions, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Some foot issues just can't be fixed by those expensive shoe stores or shoe inserts. A foot exam from a doctor of podiatric medicine, who is the medical expert in foot and ankle care, may give solutions after doing a complete foot examination. If you suffer from foot, heel, or ankle pain, let us help you find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association so you know you are being treated by the very best. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Looking at a quiet day today, sunny with a high of 44. Clouds roll in this afternoon. Cloudy tonight, low 34. Cloudy tomorrow, high 58. And then heading into Wednesday, tracking showers and thunderstorms with a high of 60. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather and tack forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Finding the sweet spot between the over and the under. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, so Jackets basking in the glow of the Stadium Series. I think now this is a very pivotal part of the year. Obviously. They got 20 games left. It's pivotal. But my point in it is this. You had the break. You survived the break and you thrived.
Yep.
Because you came out like a house on fire and you've scored 5+ in 4 straight games.
Love it.
Your offense is on fire. You are now leveling up. You had the emotional home and home with Detroit. Rival for the playoffs, all that. And you took them down twice. Now you got to go on the road for 4. And these are nothing in the NHL is a pushover, especially with these teams. Now you go on the road. Now we get to see from the emotional when they can put this Stadium Series to bed. Make your last comments on it today, and then
lock in.
Shut it down.
It's time to lock in.
Shut it down. There's no more great atmosphere. It was great. Ohio State did a great job. Every detail was covered.
We got it.
We got it.
We got it.
They won it. The hype was real. We hyped it for a week. It lived up to that. We've been hyping it for longer than that, but once the week was, once the opponent, where they were in the standings, all that's great. This team has done a great job of compartmentalizing everything. So I anticipate that they are going to be very tough down the stretch. But in a hockey sense, there is a long way to go.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't sound like that. And I know I just took you guys through an arithmetic class, on points and what it might take to get in and who they play and can they steal some on the road and how many they need to win at home versus the road. And then it depends on injuries and who they get back and all that. So on Saturday, we had Rims and I had Elliot Friedman on. He's either the Schefter of the NHL or Shefty is the Elliot Friedman of the NFL. That's how locked in and connected this guy is. And as easy and nice to talk to as anybody you'll find. I talked about the buy-sell stick for this team, March 7th being the deadline. So we are now at March 3. Friday's the deadline. You got a 28-year-old defenseman at Ivan Provorov. There's a big decision on him. Because I asked Waddell point blank on Friday, is the phone ringing on him? He didn't want to tip his hand, and I didn't push him all the way to if someone offers you a first rounder, do you have to take it? This team is now in overachieving mode. So now he has to decide if he gets a first round offer for Provy, does he move him? The 28-year-old, the other one is the winger with Matthew Olivier, and it sounds like this guy's a lunch pail guy.
Mm-hmm.
Impressive on the fight card, all that. Scored the other night. He's built for a lot of this postseason physicality with what we're going to see down the stretch.
Those dudes are valuable, too, as you know.
Yeah.
Very valuable assets to have.
Both are pending unrestricted free agents.
That's the tricky part of this, right? And that's what we talk about in all sports, the conversations that are had within a season, right? From a front office, the agent, the player with, can we get a deal done now? Sometimes when guys are having good years, they don't want to lock in. They want to hit the market, and they've earned that right to hit the market. So that can be the tricky part for Don and everybody up there, is to look at those guys and saying, because they're unrestricted free agents, what do we do here? And that's a pressure-packed situation to be in. But the draft capital is valuable, but what those guys are bringing to the team on the ice right now may be more important. And so this is a very risky business situation that we're in with Don, because I wouldn't want to be in that position, AR. I wouldn't want to be in this position looking at a guy like Provorov and knowing what he means to this team, but also on the other side of that, potentially having, like you're saying, other GMs calling and saying, Don, I got a first rounder for you. This is something that you got to,
even if it's late.
Even if it's late, and you got a young core that you can keep building with and get an additional first round pick. It's the dicey part of the job, but I'm sure Don's up for the task.
As they say in hockey, Matty, you love those minute munchers, those guys that can be on the ice a long time and do a lot for you. And Provy's one of those guys. So the fine line between, in athletics, from what I've always heard in pro sports, I've always heard from coaches and GMs, is you draw a line and you're either an asset or you're an expense. Some guys can have one skate in both camps. But then it's at what price? At what price are you? Seth Jones just got dealt to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great deal for them because they got the cap it down to about $7 million. You don't want him at 9.5, but at 7, it's incredible.
I'll take that. Yeah.
And they send Spencer Knight, who's a very good backup goalie in this league, to Chicago. I felt that was a win-win trade for both. Here's Elliot Friedman. When I asked him about both those guys specifically, Provorov, a 28-year-old defenseman, and Matthew Olivier, 28-year-old winger, both pending UFAs.
I think that the Blue Jackets go from a position where they recognize their team deserves to be rewarded a bit. Not in the sense that you need to go out and do anything silly, but that the players deserve a chance to finish what they've started over the first 3 quarters of the season. There's been a lot of rumors this week that there's been progress made on Olivier. We still have a few days. We'll see where it goes. I heard they were supposed to speak again sometime towards the end of this weekend. We'll see where that goes. Provorov, I've heard it's been harder to get to a common ground. I always say that, Anthony, knowing at this time of year, one phone call can change everything. But it's been harder at this point in time. I know there are some teams that continue to scout Provorov in case Columbus decides to do anything there. But one of the things I really feel is that I think they would add as long as it either made sense for the future or the price wasn't prohibitive. I think they realized, trading for rental, bigger prices for rentals makes no sense for them. But like I said, I want to see if they can get Olivier closed. There seemed to be less optimism on Provorov, but there was an overall sense that the team deserved an opportunity to finish the job it started.
That's it. Is that huge as far as letting them fend for themselves a little bit? I don't know what ceiling they have, but we know what floor they have. They're not in yet. They still have to get in. He's got to think of this as a business. But the one thing he does have already is draft picks. Ton of them over the last 5 seasons. They've drafted well, and their plan is to continue developing these guys. So,
AR, if the trend continues, what we heard from Elliott when it comes specifically to Provorov, don't you have to move him by the end of the week? If you feel like, or by the deadline, if you feel like, if you're Don Waddell, that we're not close and we're not going to be close.
Oh, if he's
you got to flip him.
Yes, if he's asking for that massive raise and he's locked in and you're going to lose him and you can get a first rounder for him, wherever that is. Here's the other thing you can do, and this is what you have to think about when these transactions are made. Whatever pick you would get for him, you don't have to hold that.
Mm-hmm. You can move it.
You never have to spend that. You can use that in another transaction. Yep. People, you have to remind yourself, this isn't just a player for a pick, and then we'll see what that pick turns into. That pick can turn into already a guy that you can bring in to shore it up.
Yeah,
so
that's a good point. And the other part of these equations, too, specifically when you have a guy that's going to hit unrestricted free agency, is in-house, do we have a guy that we believe can step up if we move this guy? And I don't know how they feel about that over there. But that's a part of the equation, too, is that if we move on from Provorov right now and take him out of our rotation, and he's been a good player for us, do we have the confidence that somebody or somebodies can step up and keep that floor safe? Because you don't want to take him out and then not have an answer. I know that they're clearly not going to go down that road without knowing what they're doing, but that's the give and take that you have to play here. But because of what we heard from Elliott, when it comes to Provorov and the financials right now, man, if that doesn't ramp up quickly in a positive way, then you seriously, in my opinion, got to consider moving him and getting something valuable back for him.
Yeah, the difficult part of it is what you said. It's where they are in the standings and how they're playing right now and how you don't want to disrupt chemistry and try to piece that together. They've been incredibly impressive to this point, and Provorov right now, the way he's playing, is probably has value to the point where you would be tempted to move him.
Oh, yeah.
It's weird. I mean, and the other part you have to deal with, and this is the whole other thing, I'd get into the weeds on it. Right-handed defenseman, left-handed shot defenseman, it all plays into this puzzle of what they're trying to achieve. And only Don Waddell could tell you whether he wants to lean in hard to this team. Dave Maetzold was there, ringside reporter. He'll jump on in 2 minutes before they take off for Tampa. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit GetEthos.com. That's GetEthos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we give our students credit. Credit for deciding while stuck in traffic to get a bachelor's degree. Credit for managing 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job to pursue an MBA. Students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's, and graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. Flexible online and hybrid classes start March 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
At Rocket, we believe everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. So if you're feeling locked out of home ownership, we're here to give you back the keys. We're opening doors, breaking down walls, and doing everything we can to turn renters into owners. And we're not going to stop until we help everyone home. To find out more, visit rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
As of 9 a.m. this morning, our EV trucking company is officially in operation.
Andrew's zero-emission trucks are driving the transportation category forward.
We'll make driving safer, easier, and less stressful. Now our technology needs to keep up with demand.
He needs to put pedal to the metal on hiring more software engineers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
There's nothing like ripping off your pants and enjoying some lobster bisque. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, who knows? Maybe he took the golf clubs with him. I'm not sure. Maybe he's a rental guy. I've never been a rental sticks guy. If I'm going to play, I need my own sticks. Maybe there's not time to play. Maybe he's too locked in. But he is going to Florida for a pair, so I'm sure it's tempting. He's our guy, Dave Maetzold, CBJ Ringside reporter, FanDuel Sportsnet. My man, it was great to see you on Saturday. You thawed out?
Thawed out, and here's the way it works. You bring shoes, you bring a glove, and you bring some balls and tees just in case. You can't bring the clubs because the equipment guys, you don't know what they're going to do with them, right? They could do anything. So you just bring the other stuff, and then if something happens, you go rent.
I hear you. All right, so if you had to kind of summarize your thoughts on Saturday, the coolest parts to you, what you'll take with you forever in your career, what is it?
One of the greatest spectacles I've seen at the Shoe, and that's not dissing Ohio State football at all, because back in the old days when USC used to roll in, or Texas would roll in, or Oklahoma would roll in, it was a big deal, and it was a great spectacle, especially at night. But, man, I just don't remember ever seeing anything quite like that at Ohio Stadium, and maybe it's because it was the first time. But the walkover honoring Johnny, Meredith and the kids coming out, so much attention, and deservedly so, to the Gaudreau family. Fantastic. The spectacle of 95,000 in the Shoe to watch a hockey game, and then taking out the Red Wings for the second straight game. It couldn't get any better. And I wasn't in the press box, AR. I was sitting in 23A enjoying a beverage with my family, and it just made it even better.
Yeah, that's awesome. I want to get your take, Dave, on what we saw from Elvis. AR and I were talking about a couple of the goals that he gave up, which weren't, the easiest pucks to slow down. And here he is throwing up 43 saves against the Red Wings. Just talk about Elvis and what you saw from him in net on Saturday night.
Deservedly the first star, right? And you talk about him being calm in the net, and that's what I look for, because that's what I've learned from hanging around these coaches and goaltending coaches, is when he's calm and when he's locked in, that's when he's effective. When he starts to get all over the place, get a little crazy. You saw him in that Dallas game, make the catch in center field. Like, Elvis, what are you doing, man? He's got to stay calm, and that's what he did, I think, even in that electric atmosphere, and that's really was the difference in the game. I mean, they outshot the Jackets by double, and Elvis was up to the task for just about every one of them, and that's the way he's got to play down the stretch here as well, obviously.
All right, let's revisit a little, or let's move forward this week a little bit with what might be pending here before the deadline. We had the big Don on Friday, and he admits there's a human element to this team. You can add in the Gaudreau stuff for sure. You add in where they are in the standings with 20 games to go, and he doesn't want to really upset the chemistry here, but he's got a business to run. It sounds like that Provorov is in play here based on what he may think he's earned, and he's going into free agency. Where are you on how much they feel that they could withstand moving him and still stay in contention?
Well, this is where Don Waddell has to have the delicate hands of a brain surgeon, right? Because you don't want to disrupt that chemistry. Provorov has played so well for this team. He eats minutes like crazy. He eats pucks like crazy. He'll score when he has to. You've seen that here in the last couple of games. And, man, he's important to that room. So is Matthew Olivier, right? So you have to be very delicate in what move you make, if you make a move at all, because who you bring into that room at this point really matters. Yeah, you can bring some talent in, or you can get a high first-round pick. I heard you earlier, AR. I don't know that a low first-round pick does it for me. It's got to be top 10, top 12 first-rounder, because so many times you see those guys in the back end not develop. But that's beside the point here. You just have to do it right in terms of a team chemistry standpoint, in my opinion. You got a couple more games before the deadline. We'll see where they are, but man, he's got to be delicate with this, right, in terms of what he needs to do versus what he wants to do.
Dave, hit us with your opinion on this upcoming road trip. AR and I were talking about how important this is. We know every single game from this point on is going to be massive with where they are in the standings. But this upcoming roadie starting with Tampa, your thoughts on that, and then that rolling over to the Panthers?
Well, you got the hottest team in the National Hockey League in the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's to start things off, and then the defending Stanley Cup champs. So what does that tell you? What I will say is this, guys, because they've had this success coming out of the break, and because of the celebration of the Blue Jackets and Johnny Gaudreau and everything about Blue Jackets, they go into this road trip with their chests held out, their heads up high. They are a proud hockey team right now. It's no longer, oh, here come the Blue Jackets rolling into Tampa. Here's an automatic 2 points. No, sir. This team's got some confidence about itself. They've got some swagger about itself. And though they go one game at a time, they certainly know the importance of these four collectively. It's got to start in Tampa. And it's got to start with some attitude and with a, hey, we're not here for you guys to get more points and add to your winning streak. We're here to win this hockey game, and that's the attitude they have to have. Dave
Maetzold with us, CBJ Ringside reporter before they take off for Tampa. All right, so let's do a little math here. I said earlier in the program, to get to 90, and I don't know if 90 gets them in. The last couple of years, though, Washington's gotten in at 91. That Panther team in 23 got in with 92. So if we can get the CBJ to that point, their home record is fantastic this year. It feels like, I know it's a long way to go technically, there's not because there's only 20 games, but give me your take on that, on where you're starting to look at the math on how many points it might take to get in.
Yeah, 90 minimum, and that's why you have to it's so tempting to look down the road and go, well, if they could do this. They haven't seen Ottawa all year. They got 3 with Ottawa before we get done, boys. Those are huge games and huge points. So I think you got to think about 90. But, man, this team has been laser-focused one game at a time, which is the oldest cliche in sports, but it's got to be that way. They can't get caught looking ahead. And I heard you say, look, we got to put this celebration over the Stadium Series to bed. That's exactly right. They got to put their hard hats back on and go to work tomorrow night. It has to be that way, 2 at a time. 2 points at a time. Maybe they can get 3 in Florida. That would be fantastic. Get 3 when they go to the Metro New York. That would be fantastic. But it's got to be 1 at a time here, fellas.
Dave, I'm one of the guys right now that look at those sweaters the boys are rocking on Saturday, and I said, man, I'd like to see those in the rotation a little bit more. What do you think of that?
Wouldn't you think? Detroit's going to do that. They've already said it, that they're going to put them in the rotation. And I don't know why the Blue Jackets wouldn't do it. That jersey would look so great in Nationwide Arena, those big numbers, the big cannon playing in the shadow of the cannon. That would be fantastic. I haven't heard any plans one way or another, but you got to believe that they're going to be in the rotation, especially because they're 1-0 in those sweaters. Let
me ask you a little bit about the game itself. We're looking at the big picture, a lot of stuff with you, but a couple of really sweet moments. Obviously, with Maetzold scoring the first outdoor goal was outstanding, but I want to take you back. Was Boone trying to throw that puck on net, or try to get a deflection there, or was he trying to sling that out high to him?
Well, the way that thing broke down, it just popped out to him, and he was in the perfect spot, right? No matter how it happened, that was the place where Denton Maetzold can be very dangerous, and he proved it. He went top corner with that thing. What a shot by the kid, right? I love that. I love the Grinders getting on the board. I really do. Olivier's goal was just a hard-working goal. He just stuffed it in there. And then the way that Danforth won the game, maybe missed a call there. I don't know. Maybe. But it doesn't matter. He goes in and just battles through 2D and then gets his own rebound. I loved it for those guys because they deserve it as hard as they work.
All right, my man. Safe travels. Maybe you'll get a little golf. Who knows? More importantly, the games will be must-watch TV and must-watch listen. Thanks again, man. We'll reach out soon.
Let's talk often here, boys. This is going to be a fun run.
No doubt. Thanks, Dave. Be well.
Yep. See you guys.
That's Metz. He was on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline.
Fellas, I got a question for you. Did you know the Columbus Men's Clinic is celebrating 10 years of treating thousands and thousands of local men? The Columbus Men's Clinic, guys, is the largest and most experienced men's health practice right here in Columbus. For a decade, the Columbus Men's Clinic have done this all day, every day. It's all they specialize in, guys, and they've gotten a lot better over the years. Higher success rates, better administrative and medical staff, more treatment, and more happy patients and Partners, their ED, low T, and weight loss treatments truly change lives. And guys, their experience makes the difference. I'm telling you, this is where you need to be. Call 614-300-7400. That's 614-300-7400. Or go online to ColumbusMen'sClinic.com to book an appointment today. ColumbusMen'sClinic.com.
All right, we're going to come back with a Buckeye Bulletin and the headline that's kind of rocking the Buckeye world. And it's been very polarizing over the weekend. I'll read it to you next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
Men, this is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And you've heard me talk a lot about how treating low testosterone can improve your sleep, your workouts, your energy levels, and more. But today I want to talk to you about your sex drive, because low testosterone can have a significant impact on your desire for intimacy. It can even be a factor in erectile dysfunction. And if you're in a relationship or wanting to be in a relationship, a low sex drive could really be a problem. The good news is that if you're like most guys, treating your low testosterone could really change the way you feel about sex, giving you back the flame and desire that is so important when you love someone. So if you're feeling sluggish and tired, if you're not sleeping well, if your workouts aren't that great, and most of all, if your sex drive is more like a putt, make an appointment at Tri-State Men's Health and have your testosterone levels checked. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the tri-state area to serve you.
President's Day savings all month long at your main Honda of Dublin. If you're searching for a Honda lease deal here in Central Ohio, you've come to the right place. Leasing allows you to enjoy flexibility in one of their sharp, reliable, awesome vehicles. I'm confident Rich and his team can tailor a lease that's right for you. Like a 2025 CR-V LX all-wheel drive for $349 a month for 36 months, 30,000 miles with only $19.99 down. Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
They're trained. They're fired up. Let's do it. When you need heat, they can't be beat. They're Ohio State's undefeated heating and cooling team. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Do you realize making the minimum monthly payments on your credit cards, it'll take nearly 20 years to pay them off? What if I told you there's a way for you to get them all paid off in just a matter of weeks? Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Imagine wiping out all of your credit cards. Here's where you go. AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com. Advantage First Lending is the easy button for tapping in to hundreds of thousands of dollars in your home equity. That's not the bank money, it's your money. Listen, your home, the value is way up. And now AFLcash.com has a super fast, hassle-free program that lets you turn that equity into cash. People who do this are living their best life, their credit card debt free, with cash left over for other stuff like home improvements, maybe a vacation. See how much money you can get now. Go to AFLcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. That's 844-394-CASH. Say goodbye to greedy credit card companies. That's AFLcash.com.
Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Jake Diebler's Buckeyes are back at the shot for a Big Ten battle with Nebraska.
Live fan coverage starts Tuesday night at 8.
Proud to be your flagship home of the Buckeyes, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now boarding Group A. Please have your boarding passes ready to scan. If your phone is cracked, old, or was chewed up by your Chihuahua travel companion, please refrain from holding up the line. We ask that you kindly not be that guy, and instead simply go to Verizon and trade in any phone from their top brands in any condition on any unlimited plan for the new Samsung Galaxy S25 with Galaxy AI.
With new line on my plan. Additional terms apply. See Verizon.com for details.
Welcome to TGL presented by SoFi, golf's newest league. It's sharp and it's electric. How is it sharp? How is it electric? Good questions. Try this on for size. 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime, forcing, playoffs on the line, golf. With 24 of the best players from the PGA Tour. Split into 6 teams. Atlanta, Boston, Jupiter, LA, New York, and the Bay. This isn't your average Sunday pickup game. Tune in every week for TGL matches. Only on ESPN. Keep up. It's golf.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Airflow Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Feeling the chill? Call the experts at Logan Services now for hot deals on Train furnaces, including 0% APR for 60 months.
All right, Buckeye Bulletin time. I'll read this headline to you. You guys can react to it. I don't think either one of you guys have seen this, CB or you, or have read it. This is the headline on Barstool Sports. Will Howard had possibly the worst showing by a quarterback in the history of the Combine, but Shedeur Sanders says it shouldn't count. Now, it's a headline. It got me to click on it. When I was in the press box for the Stadium Series, before the game started, there was a little bit of a murmur kind of going around press row about Will, that he was looking sloppy from the start and it's not going well, and now everybody's on this, see what a football IQ and a leader and physical and all that. Hey, when it comes down to it, you got to be able to throw the football, and you better be able to throw it on air and hit some targets. And then when I got home after the game, I was reading a lot of analysis on Saturday night and Sunday that said, no, overall it was fairly solid. It's the most polarizing thing, Maddie. I can't tell you, because I wasn't there, how bad it was, how good it was, or whether it was somewhere in the middle like a lot of these things are.
The lowlights were out there and they went viral. Unfortunately,
early in the throwing.
I don't know when it was. It's just I saw the video, the compilation of throws that were misfires from Will. They were all over the place. Barstool throwing something out like that headline. I don't know if that's Portnoy being a Michigan guy, or he went to Michigan. Who knows? Maybe there's a little dig in there. I don't know.
Well, he didn't write the story.
No, I'm just saying maybe in-house. I don't know how that works. Whatever.
I heard.
But for Will, the throws that I saw, they weren't good, but some of the other throws I saw were fine. And I'm glad that Shedeur Sanders came out and threw the tweet out that he did, because I think that's real. And it's something I brought up when we talked about Shedeur not throwing at, the Combine and waiting till his pro day, because Shedeur said what I said. It's like, you don't know these receivers that well. You don't know your guys, right? You're not out there, obviously, with Carnell and Jeremiah and Emeka and these guys that you work with every day. You're meeting these guys probably for the first time, some of them. And then the chemistry just isn't there. But Will's not excusing himself of any of that. He came out and said, I felt decent. I'm my own biggest critic, so I feel like there were some things that I could clean up. He admitted that. And so for Will, this is all going to be about going back to the lab, getting right for the pro day, and I'm sure he'll look a lot better. But my thing is, when it comes to this, I don't think we should go crazy about it. The same way I don't think we should go crazy about it, or would go crazy about it, if he had a tremendous day. This is routes on air. The eye in the sky don't lie. And what they saw from him when the games really mattered is what I hope that these GMs and scouts invest in more than a couple guys out there in shorts and a tank top throwing, and having a few errant throws in Indy on turf. That's my hope for Will. Because if they do that, then what they're going to see on tape is this is a guy that, when real football is being played, can deliver in moments for you.
That's a big part of it. Pro Day will be his chance to prove Shedeur right, in that I didn't know where those guys were going to break out of their routes. Yeah. I didn't have the timing down. Now, for everybody, it's probably similar. I think what happens with Will is that he becomes a fairly easy target of judging based on just led a team to a national title, so your expectations are high. Plus, if this guy completed 73% of his passes when it counted in uniform against a pass rush, then you almost expect perfection on air. And so when he did miss some early, and I've looked at him, he will get a chance to prove Shedeur right when he has his own guys, if that truly was the issue. And I assume he's going to look very good at Pro Day. Most of these guys do. So we'll see where his stock goes after this. But for people calling it like a fiasco on like a deep in and him throwing behind a guy, okay, he was off target. The tape isn't going to lie on, what is this, about a 20-yard in, a little ahead of a guy, a little behind a guy, and maybe had a guy have to leap for it. I'm not going to lie. He wasn't perfectly on target with some of these. Maybe he's a little juiced up. Maybe overthrew a guy. But he's going to get a second chance to make a first impression, which you don't usually get.
Yeah, no doubt about it. One of the quarterbacks that really had a good day was Jackson Dart. And, I know you liked him this year down there at Ole Miss, and I saw Jeff Howe from The Athletic. He put out Ole Miss's Jackson Dart is a name to watch. Teams believe Dart solidified himself as a first-rounder during his week at the Senior Bowl. And last week at the Combine, 2 teams strongly believed Dart would be taken in the top half of the opening round. So one quarterback on the rise right now is Jackson Dart.
So that's interesting because I said to CB, I think it was last week or the week before, I think I threw this out to you last week. I said if you take Travis Hunter at 2 and then steal Jackson Dart late, but I said late because nobody was talking about him like this.
Yeah.
And you told me that Jackson Dart and Travis Hunter were on the Browns, and you got value with Jackson Dart, but now you're telling me he's a first-rounder?
I don't think you're getting him outside of the first round now. It still may happen, right? But there's people now that were over there in Indy and talking to NFL decision-makers that think this guy not only is going to be a first-rounder, but like Jeff Howe's reporting from The Athletic that he's going in the top half of the first round.
CB, when are you have 9 picks?
Number 2 and number 33, so that first pick of the second round.
First pick of the second round. Well, that's where I think you could get him. Or I thought you could get him a couple of weeks ago.
No, it sounds like Dart is really rising, and a lot of people coming out of the Combine were saying that Sanders is falling.
I mean, and when you hear that report, and look, this is
that's why he's trying to say that stuff about Will Howard. Like, hey, let's go easy on the quarterbacks.
But he didn't throw or anything. I don't know.
No, I know.
Shedeur, I don't know what happened.
It's all just Combine rumors. These guys go up and down.
No doubt. Going back to Dart real quick. If we are to believe that he is going to go right now, let's just say in the top half of this draft, is that the Jets? Is that the Raiders? Is that New Orleans possibly? Like, because San Fran's good, Dallas is good, Miami is good, maybe Indy at 14. Like, those are some of the teams. The Jets, Vegas, I don't think
Pittsburgh. Did you say them?
No, but they're at 21.
I would not.
That may be
I would not just glance over them.
No, I was just going off of the top half part of it. But I like what you brought up with Pittsburgh. I think they could potentially be in that mix. But yeah, if we're going to go off that report top half, I would just throw in some of those teams out there that could be that landing spot for him.
Listen, all these guys like quarterbacks that can throw on the run. He can throw on the run. He doesn't have a lightning arm, but I think he's got velocity. And I would call him in the above average arm strength kind of guy, but he's athletic, and it'll be interesting. The Jets obviously need a quarterback, and so that would be interesting. Let's look at Travion Henderson and his 40 time. I think he lived up to it, Matty. Did he not?
Did I see that right?
Yeah, there was 4.43 maybe.
4.43.
Yeah.
You know who else ran good was Quinshawn.
At 220, yeah.
4.48. And Matt Miller from ESPN looked at him after coming out of the Combine and saying that he's got him in the early round 2 range now. So a lot of people A lot of people were impressed with what Quinshawn did over there at Indy this weekend.
I think if Travion gets picked between the second and third round, it'll be interesting. If he goes to the Vikes, you really don't know what the future quarterback is there. If he goes to the Chargers and he's in that offense with Herbert, you wouldn't love him with the Patriots, but it wouldn't be horrible. And then the Raiders, we don't know what's going on with the quarterback spot there. So
they all need playmakers, though. So, if you're one of the like New England and the Raiders, if I'm Quinshawn, Travion, and that may not look great right now, but I'm going over there and I'm getting the rock because they're going to need me. And when you're a rookie running back, we know how these teams like to use them. They're going to use you and use you at a high clip. So both these guys, I think, are going to be productive in the league. Both Quinshawn and Travion. Will they both be bell cow backs? I don't know. But I think the league has shown now that you get them into your system and get them in positions to succeed. They're going to take advantage of it and do their thing. So I can't wait to see what they do on Sundays because I think they're going to really help some teams out in the NFL.
I would guess, if I was betting on this, and you can bet on it, that Travion will not be a first-rounder. But if he is, that would be incredible. It's just the whole running back thing. It's just it's a dicey thing in the first round.
No question. What Travion did, I think, really helped his case this year was showcase that he could be a good pass protector, too. With the frame that he had. We talked so much coming in on Mondays about Travion picking up key blocks here, they're picking up these blitzes and all that stuff. Like, you put that out there on tape with what he can do when the ball's in his hands, his draft stock really rose this season doing that.
All right, there's your Buckeye Bulletin. We'll come back top of the hour. SportsCenter update on the way. And one player's simple message to his team after he was traded away from them. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
The Fan is live and local with Morning Juice. Caffeinate and dominate.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Common Man here for Universal Windows Direct. You know what's better than new windows? A new window from Universal Windows Direct that's on sale. It's the tax time sale. You save big while making your home comfortable and energy efficient. You buy 2 windows, you get 2 free. Plus, you pay no interest till 2030. Plus, you get an extra $500 off your home improvement project in March only. Schedule your free home estimate today, 614-502-5220, universalwindowsdirect.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Every great team needs a playmaker, a secret weapon, an MVP, like Caster Connection. Our industrial casters and wheels give your business the ultimate assist, improving mobility, efficiency, and safety. Whether you're moving carts, racks, or heavy equipment, we set you up for the win. Don't get benched by bad wheels. Go to casterconnection.com to shop online or to work with our industry-leading caster solution specialists. Caster Connection keeps your business in motion.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Getting cold feet? Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your furnace fast. Call 1-800-COOLING.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
At Rocket, we believe everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. So if you're feeling locked out of home ownership, we're here to give you back the keys. We're opening doors, breaking down walls, and doing everything we can to turn renters into owners. And we're not going to stop until we help everyone home. To find out more, visit rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
As of 9 a.m. this morning, our EV trucking company is officially in operation.
Andrew's zero-emission trucks are driving the transportation category forward.
We'll make driving safer, easier, and less stressful.
Now our technology needs to keep up with demand.
He needs to put pedal to the metal on hiring more software engineers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The Reds are on the radio.
Long fly ball, deep left center field, way back. It is gone. This could be an inside the park home run. Ellie De La Cruz is on. He leaps and he caught it. 20 home runs on the year for Spencer Steer.
What will Terry Francona's 2025 Reds look like? Find out for yourself. Cactus League play is underway. Hear all the action on your home of the Reds.
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota. Swing by Germain Toyota and ask for Marcello and discover unbeatable deals and a wide selection of new and certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Visit them at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Cole Bartemus. Man, what a weekend it was. The Stadium Series in the Shoe was an enormous success. You guys packed the stadium. Meredith Gaudreau and the kids got to be involved. The team won the game. Everything was awesome, and this city feels like a huge winner. Jackets win that one 5-3, and those points that they took in back-to-back games against Detroit are invaluable to the Eastern Conference standings, as the CBJ are now in sole possession of that top wildcard spot. Also, I know we've been all wrapped up in hockey the past few days. Let's review what's been going on with basketball. The Ohio State women lost a back-and-forth battle with Maryland in overtime yesterday. It would have been nice to win, but at any rate, the ladies are the 3 seed and get a double bye in the conference tournament, where they will play probably Michigan State, maybe Iowa, maybe Wisconsin. This update is brought to you by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy's office at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP, or check him out online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and I feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, final hour. We'll talk Buckeyes with our friend Stephen Natron Means at Cleveland.com. The bottom of the hour, 2:30. I did see that Jimmy Johnson is retiring. Not the NASCAR champ. The former American football coach.
Okay.
If you're going by Wiki. Because if you do type in Jimmy Johnson, he's not the first Jimmy Johnson that pops up. It's the NASCAR driver. This is not a surprise. He's 81 years old. Mm-hmm. And I'll say, take it to another level. When you start thinking about NFL analysts that are currently in the business right now, his name's not popping up. He's a studio guy. He's one of 4 or 5 guys that sits at the end of the table, and they go to him for about 8 seconds at halftime and before the game, and that's about it. Mm-hmm. That's not it. So I looked at Maddie during the break, and because I wasn't even going to bring this up, it just wasn't moving the needle for either one of us. And a fine career, and it's one of those guys that I feel you will never think of him as an analyst.
I don't consume much TV studio stuff when it comes to Sunday, right? Like, because I'm always just out at the bars watching the game. They're not really playing over the speakers at halftime. Like, a lot of places will go to music during halftime, then cut the game back on. So I don't really catch much of these guys anymore like I used to when I was just at the house all the time growing up as a kid. So I can't sit here and give you a take on Jimmy's analysis, right, when it comes to football. I'm sure it's fine with how knowledgeable he is of the game. But, yeah, Jimmy Johnson.
Let me give you it.
Yeah.
You asked, you haven't heard of his analysis.
Jimmy.
And I'm not just doing Jimmy here. They're going to have to make some adjustments. You can't turn over the ball and expect to win the game. They're going to have to take advantages of the chances they're getting, put some points on the board. They left some points out there. They got to adjust it. That's it. Mm-hmm. It's it. These guys are going in the green room and they're hitting the buffet. They're not watching the games.
Not only are they doing that, but they're going home and firing up CB's cash register, too, for what they're getting paid to do on TV to give the takes that you just mentioned.
So I looked at Maddie during the break and I said, what analyst would have had to have retired today for us to say, wow, that's water cooler stuff. That moves the needle. That's going to spread around the casual sports fan. Like, hey, did you hear who retired? It's not Jimmy Johnson.
Does it have to be just NFL?
Here's what I was going to bring up.
Probably not.
When the TNT crew hangs it up, that's going to be a moment. Ernie.
You mean as a team?
Well, just any of them. Because I think they're going to go out together. I don't know. But Ernie, Charles, Kenny, and Shaq, when that show officially goes away, that's going to be big-time stuff for me personally. And I think that will send some shockwaves through the sports and entertainment world when they're done.
I think if you would have told me, if Fish would have ran down here and said, hey, guess what? Terry Bradshaw is done. Like, it's over.
That hits different for you than Jimmy? Much different?
Much different.
Okay.
He's just been a part of it for so long.
Yeah.
And here's the sad truth. I don't even know. He is done now, right? That was it for the Super Bowl?
Terry? I believe so.
And the Super Bowl stole it because I didn't really – we were so caught up in the game when we were down on Radio Row. I had heard that Terry was, health reasons and this and that. He did the interview. I think he did the on-stage interview after the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. He pulled that off pretty well for a guy that's 76 years old. Because you always wonder, it's the amount of endurance and stuff that it takes at that age, I'm sure,
can be a grind.
It has to be a grind, And so, but yeah, CB, who would be the analyst for you?
So for me, I probably go to the basketball range. No, I mean, honestly, you would probably expect it anytime soon for Bill Raftery, but he's just keeps on going, man. I don't know if he's going to really stop if he doesn't have to. It probably would be the Adam Schefter equivalent for college basketball. It's John Rothstein whenever that day comes.
Really? Okay. I thought you were going to go with Billis when he hangs it up.
Billis is okay. He doesn't move me like how John Rothstein is just so tied into everything.
I got you.
But on-court stuff, Raftery is...
Oh, without a doubt. But you'll understand it because he's 80-plus years old.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Nance, when he's done, AO, that'll be a moment.
From a play-by-play standpoint, yeah, that's Al Michaels kind of stuff. Oh, yeah. That's all that. Yeah. But those guys, listen, it's the one job in this business that tends to be that they roll you out in a box. Like that. You can do it, and the great ones want to do it, and they want to be, and there's not a lot of big call for, you got to go younger and cheaper. Who's the next guy? Yeah. You're paying for that brand. Yeah. That's why you see old meteorologists and old play-by-play guys, and they have the longevity because their brand is so familiar that you're paying for that. And you're paying, and especially in sports, you're paying for those moments, those guys that called those games.
Oh, yeah.
And you become, in a way, part of the average fan's childhood. The voices you grew up with tend to be the ones that have the most emotion for you. That's where you kind of formed all of your sports love. And this guy, and we talk about them in such a romantic way. It's unbelievable. So I hope those guys hang on forever.
Two of the other play-by-play guys for me that I'll miss when they're gone is Joe Buck and Mike Breen. Specifically Mike Breen. Mike Breen calling all the NBA Finals games, the bang, that signature call that he has. But for Buck, too, it's all the baseball and football that I got from him as well. So when Joe Buck and Mike Breen hang it up, I'll be a little salty about those two.
It's funny, I like them. Because Buck, there's a very polarizing thing about Joe Buck.
I love his baseball games more than, or I did like his baseball games more than football. I like him more for baseball than football. For whatever reason, I don't know. I've always enjoyed him out there on the diamond more up in the booth.
Listen, there's no denying he's a very talented guy. And I think maybe at times he gets a bad rap based on some things he has said or done, or has a little more of an overarching kind of pompous feel about the event, that he is the event a little bit. But you and I have had the chance to talk to a lot of these guys, and when I hear Kevin Harlan's voice, it just has a different vibe to me. There's something about that. I don't know if I'll have the same. Nance is probably the most universal name in the business for sure, and he's paid like it. And the other guys, and Al Michaels now has gone to Amazon, so it's not the same effect for people. And he's kind of maybe hung on a hair too long in a way, even though I just said most of these guys can stay on forever. It's a difficult task of a job, but other than that, it's the next wave of guys that you and I have talked about, whether it's Kenny Albert or guys that
Noah Eagle's going to be a name we talk about for
Kevin
decades
Kugler,
now.
Isn't he? He does
a great job on baseball.
He does a lot.
I think he does baseball, right? Am I making that up, Kevin Kugler?
Football. I mean, I've seen him with Mark Sanchez doing football. I don't know if
maybe he does both. A lot of these guys cross over now too, but Noah Eagle, like he's good, and I know people look at him and think he's got pushed to the top because of his dad, and look, that's real. But you listen to the dude call a game, and he can do it.
Yeah,
he can do it. So he's set up to be in position, I believe, over the next 15, 20 years to be right there at the forefront of a lot of these major events. Like he did a lot of the Olympic basketball games for Team USA this past year. I know he's done NFL games on Nickelodeon for the kids broadcast and all that. So Noah Eagle is definitely a name that we're going to hear a lot of. Am I making it up that he did some college football games, CB, on Peacock for the Big Ten?
I'm sorry, which name? I was looking at Kugler.
Didn't Noah Eagle do some college football
he's been
Peacock?
Doing some basketball on Peacock, yes, but obviously he was the primetime NBC guy for college football.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
It can be diluted like anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Back, old school, you had a couple, 3 networks, and that was it. And the guys became bigger than life.
Oh, yeah.
And now it's the streaming and the Amazon and everything else. And so,
I mean, just think about all the different names that we have during broadcast for the NFL. Like Amazon is Fitzpatrick and Richard Sherman and Andrew Whitworth and Carissa Thompson. Like it's so many different things to cover. And now we're getting into this Netflix era as well. And they did a joint. Who was on the call for that? It was Burleson and J.J. Watt.
Could have been.
I think so. For the Steelers and the Chiefs on Christmas.
That's the sad part, is that I come from, the Summerall and Madden, and I come from such an older place where they just were the event. It was just bigger than life. And then if you go way, way back to Monday Night Football and Cosell and those guys and Gifford, then you're just at a whole different level. But that was, pre-internet, pre-2000.
Yeah.
It had a different vibe.
Well, for the Super Bowl, too, now we've got the rotation of networks, right? Fox and CBS, and then you don't have that one team that you're talking about where hey, I'm locking into this Super Bowl and I'm getting mad and I'm getting, whoever there. Like, there's just so many different voices now. And I think that's a good thing, though, honestly. I think that's a good thing. We've rotated through so many guys, especially on Monday Night Football throughout the years. But having all this stuff on different networks, I think is cool, just hearing all the different opinions and styles of everybody as well. And Gus Johnson's one name I'll throw out there, too, when he's done. I'm going to miss Gus on the calls as well.
Yeah, and I've told you guys a story about Vitale and the personal meetings I've had him with and how great they are and what a legend he is. And I know it becomes a broken record, and Chris Berman faced the same thing, that they didn't quite reinvent themselves enough along the way. Mm-hmm. And so it got the older person that's been listening to the same guy, they didn't get the same appeal, that legendary status. There are people that grew up with Berman and Vitale that don't speak about them the same way I'm speaking about Summerall and Madden and some of those guys. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why. I don't know whether they've just become a personality that's kind of jarring a little bit because they didn't reinvent themselves, or whether they became bigger than the event. I don't know. Maybe it's that, because you and I are both, big fans of Collinsworth and the job he does with Tirico. And a lot of people are like, no, it's not my cup of tea. So
it's Bobby.
It's one guy, right? What did he say about? He must have said something about him.
The general
one time.
But it's a lot of guys like that too. Like Romo started off hot, and now everyone is kind of moving off of him.
It's really a thankless job. Like, it really is at the end of the day, especially now in the social media era where you say one wrong thing, it's a viral clip, it's going all over the place, and then that sticks with you.
And part of also this universal appeal, it seems like, for Greg Olsen only really came about once they realized he was getting bumped for Brady.
He's good, though.
But it's funny, but there was never a counter thought about him. It was universal love for Greg Olsen, and I think part of that was because of they thought he was good, and they think he's good, and now why is he getting bumped out? So everyone's kind of coming to his aid. But yeah, you're right. It gets to be a thankless job at times, because you don't know how much to put your, how critical are these guys really going to be.
And real quick, we cannot forget the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels.
There we go,
well,
Big
course.
Daddy. Shout out to Paul Keels.
That's why lifetime contract is in play. All right, we come back and we'll give you that trade over the weekend. A weapon going to join a weapon. Will they truly be the dynamic duo? You'll find out next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
I need a small order of sheet metal to repair something in the shop. It's not much, but can you help me out?
At metal supermarkets, no order is too small.
Wait, really?
Yep.
What about small home projects?
Yep.
For a car I'm working on?
Yep.
Any kind of metal?
Yep.
Cut to size?
Yep.
With no minimum order?
Yep.
How about 1,000 cut pieces of aluminum flat bar?
Yep. Choose from over 8,000 types, shapes, and grades of metal in any quantity you need. And yes, we're serious. Any metal, any size, ready fast. Locally owned on Wilson Road.
This is a Craver service announcement. Stop what you're doing and get 10 cheese sliders for a new low price of just $7.99. Your choice of melty American, spicy jalapeno, or cheddar cheese. Only $7.99 for 10 cheese sliders. White Castle. Follow your crave.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
I'm an old school Joe, and my philosophy is real simple and effective. It's not what you win or lose, it's what you save. And betting reduced juice at Prime Sports Ohio is the way to save money on every single bet. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Use promo code JUSTSPORTS. Get a welcome bonus up to $100 and be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
If you're like most Americans, you've racked up tens of thousands in credit card debt. You're stuck with 20% interest fees, and even the monthly payments, well, they're hard to make. It's insane. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. The good news is that there is a way out. AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com. Advantage First Lending. They specialize in fast, easy access to the equity in your home. Most homeowners have hundreds of thousands of dollars in their home equity. That's your money. AFLcash.com can get it out for you with zero junk fees and zero hassle. You can pay off all those credit cards in just a matter of days. Pay off your car loans too. Cut your monthly expenses by $800 or even $900. I'm telling you, the relief you need, well, it's right there at your fingertips. AFLcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. That's 844-394-CASH. Break out of the credit card debt prison with AFLcash.com.
Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Open Season Sportsman's Expo, presented by Progressive and Can-Am, March 14 to 16, heads to the Ohio Expo Center. Tickets on OpenSeasonSportsman'sExpo.com. Buy early and save. Be sure to check out Tacticam and Toyota Tundra, official cell cam and truck of the Expo.
Goes to Rothman and Ice has been named the best midday show in the country by our industry peers.
A winner if ever there was one.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Also, Common Man and T-Bone has been named best show at Sucking the Fan.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Looking at a bright, sunny start to your Monday. Soak in the sunshine while you can because the clouds roll in this afternoon. Today's high will be 44. It'll be a lot warmer out there tomorrow. Cloudy with a high of 60. And then tracking some heavy rain Tuesday night going into Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Snap Reads.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. Or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, Maddie, Bet365.
Before we do that, this is hot off the press, AR. CB just handing this to me. We're giving away 2 tickets to the Ohio State men's basketball game against Nebraska tomorrow night.
Win CB's tickets?
March 4th at 9 p.m. So a late night tip. Get yourself an espresso martini, Red Bull, something before you go over there. Tickets on sale through OhioStateBuckeyes.com. We're going to give away these tickets after we get done talking to Stephen Means from Cleveland.com about Ohio State football in our next segment. So stick with us if you're trying to get over to see Diebler and the gang. Now over to Bet365, folks, because at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. They've launched a new sign-up offer over at Bet365 that's really cool. Listen closely. You bet $5, you get $150 in bonus bets, whether your bet wins or loses. Customers will receive bonus bets after signing up.
You know, I made a bet over the weekend real fast that Ryan Baker apparently poo-pooed over the weekend.
Oh.
I'm in the press box, and you know how I like to spin the roulette wheel of first goal, and there's no science to this. I've admitted that. Now, sometimes you go with the scores, guys that do put the biscuit in the basket, but I like, since the first goal bet is such a bad bet, technically, I like to bet the long shots. So I bet the long shot of Denton Matejchuk to score the first goal in the Stadium Series. It was 60-1. I don't put my salary on this stuff. This is for entertainment. So I put $5 on it. I'm okay. I'm okay. Or $1 or $2 or whatever to have a little fun.
Yeah.
And I guess a win's a win in my book.
I'm with you.
A win is a win. No one's getting rich, I don't think, doing this. And we're not selling them to get rich.
Mm-hmm.
The entertainment value is so fun. So when I nailed 60-1, he had to, well, yeah, but it was only for a couple of dollars. And I'm like, did I win or did I not?
Ryan Baker.
Am I a winner?
He can be a hater sometimes. Big Show can be grumpy. We love him, but he can be grumpy sometimes because he's never happy about our Reds. He doesn't think we do anything well as a franchise. Like, I don't know. So, yeah, we'll take off.
He's not printing your shirts?
No, he won't join me in that.
Right.
He thinks it's nonsense like a lot of people do. What I don't think is nonsense is Steph Curry's game, because Steph Curry, since they traded for Jimmy Butler, has been on one. And tonight, he's going back to familiar territory where his daddy used to cook. The Warriors are in Charlotte tonight.
Who's your daddy?
As you know, Steph's pops used to get busy in that area. So I'm looking at Steph tonight against the 14-45 Charlotte Hornets to knock down 6 3-pointers at plus 115. He's going to put on a show in front of the fam.
All right, I'm not telling you I'm going to make this bet tonight. I'm actually wait to see what happens on the trip to Florida.
Did I hit you with the juice on that? Plus 115? Did I say that? That's what the juice is for
Good.
6 threes. Okay.
All right.
Just wanted to make sure I said
money's
that.
good money.
There we go.
So the Jackets to make the playoffs, because I have people, they liked my little math class earlier, and they're like, okay, well, what does Vegas think?
Yeah.
They don't care what I think. What does Vegas think? They know. Vegas has the Blue Jackets not making the playoffs.
What are they talking
by a
about?
pretty decent margin.
Come
at
on.
minus 200. I'm sorry. Yes, on a no. No is the heavy favorite.
Really?
So I feel like, now here, the timing of this can be important. Right now, the Blue Jackets to make the playoffs, if you bet them on Bet365, you're getting plus 160 that they make it.
I like it.
Now, I gave you the math class earlier that I feel like, and then Mets came in on top of that and said 93 minimum. Because I think 93, it's going to be close, but I think you could probably get in at 93 points. But I have to decide whether I want to bet this now in anticipation of maybe they beat Tampa. But I say if they split this roadie, the first two, the Florida roadie, between Tampa and the Panthers, I'm probably still getting plus 160. And if they lose both, dare I say it, then you're getting them even better. I just don't know if the value is to bet them now. Or you don't worry about anything. You take the plus 160 and you run. It's just a weird timing with
play.
It's weird time, but if they lose to Tampa, we get more.
But I like the plus 160. I want to grab that now.
I think I want to lock that in.
Yeah, let's do it.
Mark that in now that we said after the Stadium Series.
Plus 160.
You were getting the Jackets at plus 160 to make the playoffs.
Yeah, okay, I'm in. I see the vision. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Offer subject to meeting qualifying criteria.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
So we have debated over the last couple of weeks on what the landing spot for Deebo Samuel would be or could be. I think at one point in time, we threw out Washington just because we knew that Scary Terry needed a running mate, and they've got a quarterback they can lean into now and give him another weapon, which they have to do. So I would look at this as being a fairly big win for the Commanders because he wanted some kind of fresh challenge heading into the final year of his deal. And John Lynch, I think, wanted to do right by him. I think this is actually a pretty... I don't love it for San Fran losing Deebo Samuel, but now Washington's on the hook for $17.5 million of his salary for 2025. And so now, here's the good news for Washington. They can easily afford this. And it does come down to that's the name of the game. You can afford it. Other teams can't. And they can. They've got... Now, is Jonathan Allen leaving?
It sounded like they were trying to send him on his way, too.
Yes. So take his $16 million and maybe put it back in the pot.
Yeah.
And so this should help them. I do think that the winner of this trade is the guy that got traded.
Is Deebo?
Yeah, that's a nice spot for him.
Especially because they got the money. They got the money, as you mentioned.
And a franchise on the way up.
Looks like they're ready to roll, man. Just made an appearance in the NFC Championship game. You've got that quarterback on a rookie deal. This is what I love, seeing teams do this. You've seen from your quarterback what you have in year one. You know you got a guy. He's got to do it again and again and again. But as far as where we're at right now, if you're a Washington Commanders fan like Timmy Hall, you got to be fired up about this because what Deebo brings is versatility. He brings a weapon to your offense that you can line up all over the place and really hurt defenses. And this is going to help out Terry McLaurin because when you have, let's say, Deebo in the backfield with Jaden Daniels and you've got that RPO stuff that they can do, Terry's going to be in a situation where he's getting advantageous matchups on the outside. So this is absolutely great for them. I still think they need a little bit more on offense. They relied a lot on Zach Ertz last year, who was, in his mid-30s and had a really good year, but you don't know if you can bank on that again.
What about Diami Brown?
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's pretty good, but I'd like a little bit more establishment.
He can't love this.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not with him being a young guy trying to make a name for himself. But, personally, that stinks. But for the team, this is going to have Washington's offense really humming. And they were good last year. I mean, their offense was 5th in the league in scoring. And so you got a dangerous weapon at quarterback. And now you've got a guy in Deebo Samuel you can put in the slot, backfield, out wide. And I think it's just going to pair well with the guys that they already have.
Here's the other good news about this. This tells Terry that he's going to get another massive extension. Like this, does he have this year left?
I'm not sure what his deal
looks like. I think he's got one more year on his deal. So guess what this means? Extension talk time.
Oh, yeah.
For him.
Because he's been a captain in that building. He's been productive. He's been everything that they wanted. And probably even more when they drafted him out of Ohio State. Like, if you think about what his career has turned into and what he was here at Ohio State, he was a good player here. I for sure didn't see this coming from Terry McLaurin. So this has been an incredible ride that he's gone on. Now he's got a dude at quarterback that he knows for the remainder of my career, if they stay healthy, those guys are going to be cooking. So Terry's in a good spot.
Did you mention Noah Brown also?
Is he a free agent? He was there last year. He might be a free agent, but he was there last year, and he was making some plays. I just don't know if
Buckeye as well.
Oh, yeah. I just don't know if he's on
big.
The books.
He's the one that caught the Hail Mary.
Man, Noah's bounced around Dallas, some Houston, some other spots, and helped some teams. He's done some good things. Now, he's never had that Oklahoma game like we saw at Ohio State. But Noah's
he's a free agent.
Yeah. He's a free agent.
Okay, so that may send him on the way out. We'll see. All right, those are your pre-snap reads for today. We're going to come back in 2 minutes with our friend Stephen Means of Cleveland.com. Check in on the Buckeyes, get his view of the combine, and if the analysts were right or wrong. And with the upcoming pro day, he'll have a lot to tell you. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
1-877
Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with the K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Well, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
Breaking news coming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Fascinating, informative, covered in dog slobber. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, welcome back in. All right, Buckeyes all the talk. Combine, Pro Day upcoming, and then obviously the future. So we get past, present, and future with our guy, Stephen Means, affectionately known as Natron on this show, and he's with us now on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Stephen, good to have you, my man.
Thanks for having me.
Give me your best take. I saw the analysts were all over the board on Will Howard's combine performance. Where did you sit?
I think he was throwing to a bunch of wide receivers he literally never thrown to in his life. So you take what I think what matters at the combine at this point in a world where so many guys don't do anything, right? The only receiver he's got any chemistry with was standing there in a sweatsuit because he wasn't doing anything. This was about how did he perform in the 15 minutes he got to be in front of the media. I think he handled that about as well as he's handled all the media availabilities he's had this year. And then what happened in those meetings with coaches, anything that happened on a Saturday evening inside Lucas Oil Stadium with receivers he has no type of chemistry with, doesn't matter to me. I think he handled everything that matters at the combine at this point pretty well. Now, can he follow that up with an impressive pro day in a world where we're not really sure who QB3 is? I think he's in the same position that Jalen Milroe and Jackson Dart and Quinn Ewers and Kyle McCord are all in trying to fight to be that QB3.
Yeah, no doubt. Steven, you know, it sounded like the Buckeye running backs and Travion and Quinshon did some good things over there in Indy. I know Matt Miller, specifically when it came to Quinshon, said that he could be a round 2 guy. Your thoughts on what you saw from those two over in Indy?
I thought Trey was slower than I thought he would be, but granted, I thought he was going to run a 4.35, so it makes a 4.48 look like it's slow, and it's literally not slow. He had a heck of a day too, but Quinshon Judkins, he did all that at 220 pounds. It's kind of nuts, right? It's like I don't think we were all expecting him to be that explosive as an athlete. I think both of those guys have earned themselves some money from the combine, and I think they might continue to earn themselves some money through the pro day. If Quinshon Judkins is a second-round draft pick, that doesn't shock me. If Travion Henderson is a first-round draft pick because somebody looks at him and goes, well, it worked with Jahmyr Gibbs, it could probably work with him. None of that shocks me. I think those two Tyleek Williams and Donovan Jackson probably earned themselves the most money with what they did last week.
You know, we played your video last week where you put on a nice video of Will at the podium, and one of the quotes that jumped out to me, and you quoted it too in the caption, Stephen, was, "Now it's his time." And Will went on, as you know, to talk about the other guys, but that really jumped out to me. And I was like, maybe I'm overthinking this, but Denzel Burke went down a similar path with how he talked about Julian saying as well. Just talk about what you heard from Will and just overall your thoughts on what we're going to see from these quarterbacks in the spring.
So I think we're all trying our best right now to not go to the moon with Julian Sand, right? I think we're all trying to do that. We're trying to let this process play out. We have understood at this point how Ryan Day does quarterback competitions, and the expectation has typically been it's not until maybe that third or fourth week of fall camp that he announces the starter. But we also know what we saw during those spring and fall camp practices last year. We also know that this true freshman came in here and immediately established himself as QB3 behind two guys who, one for sure wasn't going to be here after the 2024 season, and the other one, Devin Brown, where we thought there's a good chance maybe he's not here after the 2024 season. And so when Will Howard is saying he's got the prettiest and most accurate ball I've ever seen from someone his age, when Denzel Burke is trying his hardest to not say the name C.J. Stroud, when we all know that's the name he was trying to hint at there. When Lathan Ransom and Mecca Ibuka and Travion Henderson are all talking so highly about this kid, and you look at this room, I think this has the chance, I don't know if it will be, but this has a chance to be a different type of quarterback battle than we've seen in years past, where it feels like it goes up into midway through fall camp. I'm not going to say 100% it's going to happen, but I don't think the concept is off the table that we get to April 12th and we're all like, yep, Julian Sands is starting quarterback in 2025, so let's get this thing rolling, because they're talking about him in a way that, quite frankly, they've never really talked about a quarterback before who has only played 27 snaps and thrown 12 thrown 12 passes in a game. So I think Lincoln will take his best shot at this, and then you got Tavian St. Clair in there, who's there at a development learning here as a five-star recruit. But my eye is on Julian and how quickly can he maybe establish himself here over the next 15 practices.
Well, it's like, Maddie and I have talked about, and you just talked about, this isn't last year with Akron, Western Michigan, and Marshall to pivot if you need to pivot, even if it's a close win. Like, you want to obviously be ready and be really solid in your foundation to start the year against, the Longhorns when they come in. So that'll be really interesting to see what happens. Let me ask you this. So Jeremiah Smith, breakout player last year. Hello, world, I'm here. Who's the pending breakout player for this year?
Yeah, I think I've got a growing list of guys. I think Brandon Ennis, for starters. I mean, this is a guy who, one, I wouldn't be shocked if he's the captain, as a guy who really hasn't had that big of a role yet. But he seems like a guy in a position where he could have broken out last year out of Mecca Ibuka going pro, but now he's had to wait another year, and that's a guy in the slot where teams are going to be zeroing in on Jeremiah Smith and Cardinal Tate. Can that guy, who was essentially in the position Jack Smith-Njigba was in 2021, where it was like, hey, you've got Garrett, you've got Chris, we don't really know this guy, we should take away those two guys. It might be a similar situation for Brandon Ennis. But the guy, as a Cleveland.com writer, I gotta go hype for my guys when they're here, those Glenville guys. Arvell Reese, I think, has the potential to be a stud there. I think there is a case where Cody Simon was a very good linebacker here, especially down the stretch here, and Arvell Reese might make us not miss Cody Simon. Like, he's that good. He's got some freakish athletic ability where pairing him with Sonny Styles, I think that might be a special starting linebacker tandem, because Arvell Reese has flashed some stuff in the past. But now this is a guy who might be ready to take over that Mike linebacker spot full time. And we might see – it's been a while since we've seen a superstar come out of Glenville. And Ohio State's had a few of those over the last 25 years. And I think Arvell Reese has a chance to be the next guy to be at that level.
Steven, you mentioned that some of these national people that, cover the portal and the sport itself. One guy that keeps popping up that people are excited about is Max Clare. And look, we know Carnell, we know JJ. Those guys are going to do their thing and ball at a high level. But what did they acquire in Max Clare, and how do you think he can make an impact on the offense this season?
Yeah, I think he's the best receiving threat they've had at tight end in quite some time. That's including what Cade Stover was able to do for 2 years and what Jeremy Rucker was, and the idea of what he is. And so the question is it enough of a receiving threat to funnel the ball away from these receivers into him? Because Cade Stover was very productive as a receiving threat during his last 2 years here, but also what created a world where he could be that productive? In 2022, Jackson Smith-Njigba gets hurt. So instead of those passes going to Jackson Smith-Njigba, they kind of got split up between Julian Fleming and Cade Stover. In 2023, Emeka Egbuka gets hurt. And so now Cade Stover is your second best weapon behind Marvin Harrison Jr. So if Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith and Brandon Ennis are all healthy, plus maybe James Peoples as a receiving threat out of the backfield, does that mean Max Clair's production goes down? That's a crazy thing to say, right? So there's only one ball and there's a lot of talent around here. Somebody's not going to get the ball. So if you would say to me that James Peoples isn't going to be as involved in the passing game, then I think there is a role here where if Max Clair has 30 to 35 catches, I know that's a small amount in comparison to what he had at Purdue last year, but what if he turns that into 550 yards? Because, again, he's the best receiving threat they've had at tight end in a long time. So I don't know if his usage will be high given the amount of talent here. But I think the way he maximizes that usage might give Ohio State a weapon it's not had in the Ryan Day era.
Always enjoy our convos, man. Appreciate your time and insight. We'll ring you back soon. Thanks, Stephen.
Thanks, guys.
All right. He was on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline.
Time to give away some goodies right now, and those goodies today are 2 tickets to the Ohio State men's basketball game against Nebraska tomorrow night, March 4th at 9 p.m. Tickets on sale through OhioStateBuckeyes.com. 614-821-9710 is CB's hotline number. AR, I believe you have the question for our wonderful listeners.
All right, here's the question. We had Dave Maetzold on, CBJ Ringside reporter, earlier in the program, and they're headed out on a 4-game roadie that will take them down to Florida and then through New York and Jersey. What is he not packing? He's packing a few other things, but what is he not specifically taking with him? If you get that, you get the tickets. 821-9710. You tell CB. You send money. He sends tickets. No money involved. Maddie, this is my tease going into the break.
What do you
tell
got?
The truth.
What you got, big dog?
He told us he would tell us first. I think he has. You'll hear that next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Home values in Columbus are sky high, and you have a ton of equity. Your financial advisor thinks the market has peaked. So if you're thinking about selling, it's time. Except for 2 things. High interest rates will burn you on a new home loan, and you're not ready to move. Savvy financial advisors suggest Truehold's new Sell and Stay program. It's ingenious because they buy your home now while its value is high, but you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Smart, right? Truehold will make you a solid cash offer, not a lowball offer like the others. It's based on your home's current value. The cash is yours to travel, pay off bills, or secure your retirement. And again, you can stay in your home with a comfortable lease. Truehold covers property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. See how much Truehold will pay for your home today. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com. Are you turning 65? Are you looking for Medicare Advantage coverage? Great news! The Ohio State Health Systems and Mount Carmel Health Systems are in our provider network. Aetna has Medicare Advantage plans that include prescription drug coverage with a $0 monthly plan premium. Plus, the plans include benefits like dental, vision, and hearing. Call Aetna today at 1-888-76-AETNA to learn more. One of our licensed agents will answer your call. Call today, 1-888-76-AETNA. Aetna Medicare is an HMO PPO plan with a Medicare contract. Our D-SNPs also have contracts with state Medicaid programs. Enrollment in our plans depends on contract renewal. Plan features and availability may vary by service area. Participating healthcare providers are independent contractors and are neither agents nor employees of Aetna. The availability of any particular provider cannot be guaranteed, and provider network composition is subject to change. Other physicians, providers are available in our network.
Something amazing is happening. Despite a citywide blackout, this company is still up and running. That's because CDW deployed and managed a cost-effective Eaton Trip Light Series Smart Pro UPS to safeguard equipment easily and reliably. Keep the power on and protect your IT equipment from electrical challenges. Trip Light by Eaton and CDW. Make amazing happen. Find out more at cdw.com/triplight.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
Why would we trade our best player?
Well, at least you got to watch him in person when he was here.
I named my only son after him.
So you'll always remember his name.
Yeah, but what do I do with this jersey?
Luckily, the company has a great return policy.
I wore it for 6 seasons.
Well, at least your home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
A.J. Hawk won a national title, a Super Bowl, and a Lombardi Award, but his weekly appearance on Morning Juice Fridays at 8:33 is the real highlight of his career. If he tells you otherwise, he's lying.
Sponsored by FanDuel.
The Fan.
It's been a great run. Care Heating and Cooling has achieved goals I could only imagine 30 years ago. But now it's time for the next generation to take over. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, as Care grew over the years, you had many opportunities to sell Care to one of the big conglomerates that are buying companies all over Central Ohio. So tell our customers why you decided to keep Care in the family.
After talking about Care's values for over 30 years, I couldn't bear the thought of Care becoming the kind of company I was warning our customers about. I know the two of you will continue to treat our customers as I would, with honesty and integrity.
We will, Dad. In 2024, Care was awarded a BBB Torch Award for Ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
All right, first let's get down to business. CB, who won the tickets? Who knew that the one thing Maetzold did not pack was his golf clubs?
Yes, it was the golf clubs, and John knew it, so he has a pair of tickets to tomorrow night's game.
Shout out to you, John. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the hoops.
Well done, John. And if you want to go tonight, just kind of hang out and sleep over.
Yeah. You can do the tent, right? It's not Moderataville anymore, so what would it be? Dieblerville?
Dieblerville, it works.
Dieblerberg, exactly. All right, so I was going to say you could go in and kind of get in there now and just kind of hang out. They got working bathrooms and all that stuff.
Eat some concessions, fire up some nachos, a couple hot dogs. You'll be all right. You'll make it through.
Stir that cheese up.
There you go.
All right, CB, take us home.
Well, I think we want to pay off on the tees, don't
bad. Sorry, the tickets was on my brain. So he told us we'd find out from him first.
Hmm?
And T. Higgins has tweeted.
Uh-oh.
One word.
Ooh. What'd he say? What'd he say?
Tag.
That's all he said. He wasn't lying. The man of his word.
Now, does that mean... It doesn't mean he has signed anything. It means he believes they're not going to get a deal done. And they're going to tag him. It's, as you've always said, it can be a bad look, especially when you're dealing with the Cincinnati Bengals. The T. Higgins and the franchise tag. I don't think it's all bad. I think he'll benefit by the money, not long term. They benefit certainly by keeping him in an offense with Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, and it makes them very dangerous. I agree with you on most occasions. Elite teams like to take care of everybody if they can, and the Bengals had the money to extend him. And they kind of forced him to play under that one-year deal because they were holding out all the money for Jamar Chase.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to tell you that if they really, and I know these players are like, well, wait a minute, it shouldn't be our problem in trying to get him signed. Joe Burrow's probably saying, I shouldn't have to give away. And Jamar Chase says, well, all right, don't give me 40, give me 35. Like, they're not willing to give up. So I've always said it's a luxury. but it looks like, if we can believe him, that no long-term security to his liking.
Correct.
I believe that he has been offered a contract. Correct, CB? A longer-term deal?
I know that the report from Diana Rossini was that Chase has been, but I don't know about T. Higgins.
Okay, well.
Yeah, Diana Rossini, real quick, as CB mentioned, she tweeted about 5 minutes ago, Jamar Chase is the priority and expected to reset the non-quarterback market. An offer has been made by Cincinnati to Chase, but the two sides remain far apart for now, per sources. This is no surprise for T, right? We've been talking about this for a while. It's just unfortunate timing for him because of what I just read about Jamar Chase, is that a guy that's due up for a deal, plays the same position as he does in the same locker room, is going to reset the market and make massive, massive money, and $100+ million guaranteed. At least that's what he should get. That's what he's earned. And so for T, this is just an unfortunate sequence right now because he's earned a new contract, and I'm sure there will be a team willing to pay him $28, maybe $30 million a year. But the Bengals front office is
they're willing to get close to that for one more year.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And the franchise is saying, hey, T, if you hit the market right now, if you were a free agent, we'd hit you with 3-4 years at $30 million. Who knows, right? But he just doesn't have that, opportunity right now, unfortunately. So if this gets a little nasty, I wouldn't be surprised if we start hearing about tag and trade possibilities. I know if you're a Bengals fan, that's obviously not what you want, because you want to see these three guys, Joe, T, and Jamar, do it for at least one more year and hope that Al Golden gets the defense right, because if the defense can just get to middle of the pack with the weapons that they have on offense, including Trace Brown as well, they can be right there again in the thick of things in the postseason.
So here's the good, the bad, and the ugly of it, in my estimation. The good is, if he gets tagged, he gets a really good guaranteed payday for 1 year. $26 million. That's, let me tell you something, $26 million, that puts him in the top 10 of highest paid receivers in the NFL. If he's making that per year, per 17 games. The bad part is that he's playing in the NFL, and the last time I checked, you can get injured.
Yeah.
It's a massive 1 year deal if he gets it, but it's only 1 year. So if he had a significant injury, then he's in trouble. The other option that you brought up, which is the ugliest, with the ugly part of it, the good, the bad, and the ugly, is they could probably, they don't really move tagged players. I don't think that's what they've done, but they'd still have a chance to flip him. And if you can flip him for a draft pick, it's not the worst thing. I think it's unlikely, but it's leverage they would have that they could tag him and trade him, because the most important thing on this whole thing is that he doesn't walk for nothing.
Correct.
And so that's kind of where we are in this game. He's a luxury. He's a great receiver. And if he's forced to take the tag again, then he knows one thing. I'm risking it all for $26 million. While a lot of people listening would do the same, you're not an NFL caliber receiver, and I'm not either. So the injury could cost him a ton. If he gets hurt late in the year, it's even worse, because then he wouldn't have time to rehab it and showcase himself for a future team. So the Bengals hold the cards. They may have played their first one, unless T is just jumping to the, well, I'm going to sign that. Or now the fact that he wrote tag, I'm not really sure how to read into that.
He's just following up on y'all know first from me. He's I think in his mind breaking
that they want to tag him.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Okay.
All right, let's get one in real quick. Let's do the fan poll. It's brought to you by Caster Connection. Visit casterconnection.com to shop online or work with our Caster Connection specialists. The question was, the Blue Jackets embark on a 4-game road trip tomorrow with the Lightning, Panthers, Rangers, and Devils coming up. How many points will Columbus get in those 4 games? Is it 0-2, 3-4, 5-6, or does the Matty Ice special 7-8?
Yeah, I was going to say.
You guys are going to be surprised. I'm going to go.
I know what you're going to say.
What?
Well, I can tell you right now, if you don't already know, they're walking into a freaking buzzsaw.
That's what I'm saying. We talked about their schedule
Tampa
earlier.
and Florida. Tampa especially.
I'm going to say 3-4.
I said earlier in the program, you split 2 of these 4, I call it a victory. If you can get 2 of the 4, I don't care where you get them, how you get them. You get 4 points, you get to 5, you've won the road trip, in my mind. So win the road trip by splitting or getting an overtime loss somewhere. Anything above that is absolute gravy, and you'll take it all day long. I'm not denying that the Jackets aren't a hot team. They're on fire,
4
too.
in a row, baby.
But what we're seeing, what's going on in Tampa right now is...
Yeah, they're locked in.
Yeah.
And the truth shall set you free.
Folks, if you missed anything from our program, don't worry. You can always catch up. Because wherever you get your podcast, just type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3 will be waiting there for you. Subscribe to the pod as well. Our podcast is sponsored by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
I'll give you one bit of good news on the back end of that before we say so long. Tampa has to play at Florida tonight.
Love it.
So they'll be on a back-to-back against the Jackets.
There we go.
Will Vasilevsky go? Because if he does, and he's been a horse, he doesn't give up much. Yeah. And the Jackets' offense has been on fire.
Yeah, it has.
So that's something very much to look for, and we'll talk about it more tomorrow with you. When we come back, at high noon, Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
The only radio show Ryan Day listens to when we're holding him hostage, making him listen to a radio show. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV?
What? No way, dude.
Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen. To draft an agent for your team, visit shelterinsurance.com. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
At Rocket, we believe everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. So if you're feeling locked out of home ownership, we're here to give you back the keys. We're opening doors, breaking down walls, and doing everything we can to turn renters into owners. And we're not going to stop until we help everyone home. To find out more, visit rocket.com. Rocket. Own the dream.
As of 9 a.m. this morning, our EV trucking company is officially in operation.
Andrew's zero-emission trucks are driving the transportation category forward.
We'll make driving safer, easier, and less stressful. Now our technology needs to keep up with demand.
He needs to put pedal to the metal on hiring more software engineers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Every great team needs a playmaker, a secret weapon, an MVP, like Caster Connection. Our industrial casters and wheels give your business the ultimate assist, improving mobility, efficiency, and safety. Whether you're moving carts, racks, or heavy equipment, we set you up for the win. Don't get benched by bad wheels. Go to casterconnection.com to shop online or to work with our industry-leading caster solution specialists. Caster Connection keeps your business in motion.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
President's Day savings all month long at your main Honda of Dublin. If you're searching for a Honda lease deal here in Central Ohio, you've come to the right place. Leasing allows you to enjoy flexibility in one of their sharp, reliable, awesome vehicles. I'm confident Rich and his team can tailor a lease that's right for you. Like a 2025 CRV LX all-wheel drive for $349 a month for 36 months, 30,000 miles with only $19.99 down. Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Get eco.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey, Jerry.
You know, as much as I enjoy being a professional inventor, a few of my dream inventions still elude me.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
Well, the bruiseless avocado.
Ooh.
The unlosable TV remote.
Could change the world.
And for you, Aaron, the uncloggable drain.
Get eco.
Until you crack it, Jerry. You know our 93 or free drain clearing offer is the next best thing.
Okay. Explain yourself.
Get eco.
Our drain team will clear your drain for just $93. If we can't clear it, it's free. And we guarantee it'll stay clear for at least a year, or we will clear it again for free.
Get Eco.
ECO. We'll even send our little robot camera down there to make sure you don't have a larger problem that could cause more trouble in the future.
Get Eco.
ECO.
You think your guys could bring that robot over to my place and help me find that TV remote?
I think that's impossible even for us.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco, plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now boarding Group A. Please have your boarding passes ready to scan. If your phone is cracked, old, or was chewed up by your Chihuahua travel companion, please refrain from holding up the line. We ask that you kindly not be that guy, and instead simply go to Verizon and trade in any phone from their top brands in any condition on any unlimited plan for the new Samsung Galaxy S25 with Galaxy AI.
With new line on my plan. Additional terms apply. See Verizon.com for details.